Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Shelly Werfelmann, and I'm the AMS360 Agency Consultant here at Kite Technology Group. Today, we're going to learn how to take advantage of scheduled reports in AMS360 so you are reporting smarter, not harder. So let's get started. Today, we're diving into scheduled reports in AMS360, which is one of the most underused tools in the system. We'll do a quick overview to help agencies like yourself save time while delivering reports needed. So let's stop reinventing the wheel. You have enough manual work to do. We need to do smarter work, not harder work. Harder means manually generating each report. Harder means exporting every report. Harder means emailing every report. But smarter set up scheduled reports for every employee that requires expiration reports, hot lists, aged accounts receivable, and accounting reports can also be scheduled. Let the system work for you. Some available scheduled reports are activity lists for on the servicing side and operations side, claims management, customer aged accounts receivable, expiration reports and hot lists. Even policy book of business reports can be scheduled. Transaction reports. There's so many reports that you can schedule. On the accounting side, there's everything from balance sheets to commission payable statements to producer broker reports. So there's so much flexibility in the system. Walt Disney once said the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. So let's begin. Let's start by setting it and forgetting it. We need to prioritize. On the servicing level, you want to set up expiration, renewal reports, and hot lists for all servicing team leads. Expiration reports and hot lists can be also set up for producers and account managers. You could set up aged accounts receivables and producers for every service team lead and even to your account managers if you want to. You can set up claims reports if you need to monitor those. On the operations side, you could set up activity reports that go to managers to have oversight on what activities are being set up or processed. You can set up unbilled reports to go to your department managers to keep an eye on those policies that are not being invoiced that have zero premium in them. You could set up transaction reports to managers. You could set up book of business reports and production analysis reports, whatever is needed. And on the accounting level, there are so many reports available to accounting, they should not be running any manual reports or very few. So your delivery options vary as well. We're going to look at a couple examples on how to do this. I'm going to do a setup in AMS 360, and then I'm going to show you how that delivery works. So in an AMS 360, to get to your scheduled reports, you would go to Toolbox down here at the bottom left-hand corner. And then you would go right here to Scheduled Reports. And it should open the reports for you. And so it's just going to give you all these are ones I already have set up. So we're going to do a new setup. So I'm going to go in here and click New. And we're just going to use a hot list as an example. So in your drop down for groups, you have a lot of groupings that are available to you, but I'm going to use System as the group for now, just for my test run. So the name is going to be the name of the report. So we're going to use expiration report and right here, expiration and renewal report. And so on the description, I recommend that you put the name of the person that is going to be receiving this report. Otherwise, you won't be able to identify easily who the report is for. I have an example right here of a report I've already have set up in here. So these are all set up in here and they have no name. So you have no idea who they're assigned to go to. The overview only shows who scheduled it. It does not show who it's going to. You would have to drill in to figure that out. But if you change it and just put the person's first and last name, first name and last initial, however your agency wants to do it, something that easily identifies it. So I'm going to actually use my name and my last name initial. And then in here, I'm just going to go through this. If you are the one setting this up, it's going to actually default for you to be the distributor. So as long as you're the one that's going to be the one distributing it once it produces, then this can stay this way. If it's going to be somebody else in your agency, you want to pick that person and maybe put you as the backup. The backup would be used if the primary is out on vacation, out sick, something to that effect. Okay, so the frequency is how often do you want this report to go out? So normally an expiration would go out on a monthly basis. So I have it already set to go out on a monthly basis. And then what day of the month do you want this to go out on? I'm actually going to set it to go out on the second of the month because you want to start working on this pretty quickly. Now you are usually running a report, expiration report for future renewals. So you could pick any day of the month you want. One thing you don't want to do is put everything to run on the exact same day. It'll bog down the system. So, like maybe do your expiration reports on the 2nd, maybe do your unbilled reports on the 5th, maybe do your hot lists on the 15th, just to keep the system having a variety so you're not running everything on the same day. And then should stay every month. So if I want it every month, I'm going to put a 1 in there. If I want it every other month, I'm going to put a 2 in there, and so on and so forth. So that's what that stands for. So then you want to click the calculate button, and it's going to calculate that it's going to start next month on the 2nd. So that's what this is saying. It's always going to start the month following the date you are setting it up. And then you want to tell it how many occurrences you want it to do. Now, obviously, you don't want to reset this up every year. So I recommend putting 999. That means that's the max you can put in there. And that means it will continue to populate for quite a few years before you have to set it up again or inactivate it if the person leaves. One thing I do recommend is that you set yourself some kind of task reminder, maybe every 5 years or so, to if that person's been in that position that long, you probably want to look at it. You might want to recreate it so it doesn't have any hiccups. I just know after using this for 20 plus years that it can get bogged down and start creating glitches if it's been in there too long. Just something to consider. If you want to suspend the report, you would put it here. So let's just say for some reason you don't need to send it out for a couple months or a month or whatever, you can suspend it and put a suspend date. Okay, this is the description that is going to go in the email. So the subject line, I'm going to leave defaulted as it is, but you can actually type in here in the body of the email what you want it to say in that email. And the benefit of this is you don't have to reinvent it every single time. So you can just say something about like attached is your policy expiration report for 120 days out. So that's what I'm going to run it for. So that's why I'm putting that in there. You can put whatever you want to, however you want to do it. So the next part is to assign this to go to me because it's for me. So in here, I would click on this. It's going to open this window. And I'm going to look for myself by first name. And here I am. And then once you do that, then you click on the add to distribution list button right here. And you'll see that it populated it in down here. Then you can just X out. And then what you want to determine now is how do you want this report to be delivered? So you have the option of submitting it through their reports tab in AMS360, which would be on their home tab, or through an email, or you can do both. I'm actually going to do both. And you can have it go in email in PDF format or CSV format. And for the sake of this, I'm going to show everything so that you can see what the example looks like. Okay, so now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to add this entry. Now it automatically is going to fall on the one I just entered, which is probably a good thing. I'm actually going to fix this really quick. I'm going to put a 1 here, W1, just so I know which one So I make sure I go back to the same one because it has somewhat the same name as the one I already had in here. Okay, so now that you've added it, now what you want to do is come over here and click on the actual name of the report, and it's going to open up another setting, which is you're going to actually set some parameters for the report. So remember I said that we were going to do 120 days out. So that's 3 months out. So I'm going to set that. Right now, if I populated it today, it would run February 19th through June 19th. But this is scheduled to run on March 2nd. So it's going to do March 2nd through July 2nd. So that's what will be on the report. The other thing you want to do is you want to come over here and you want to pick the position that the report is going to, what position they hold. So I'm going to act as a rep. And so I'm going to actually add my name right in here as the rep. So that's what I did here. So what this is telling the system is to send every single policy that I'm a rep on that falls within the dates of the report. So it doesn't matter what exec is assigned to it, because as long as I'm on it as a rep, it's going to pull and send it to me. Now you have this option right here. It says include policies for the selected personnel who are listed as additional personnel. So if you have anybody listed as additional personnel, if I was additional personnel on some policies and you wanted those policies included also, then you would check this box right here. I'm going to leave it unchecked. Business unit, I would leave it as all. If you click on it, it's going to automatically be defaulted as all. I would leave it that way unless you're specifically running a report for a specific business unit for this person, and it's not going to be consistently split out like this. You have to understand you're setting up a scheduled report, not a one-time run. So if you limit the parameters, it's going to be limited in every single report. Same with this. I would leave these as all. Because of scheduled reports, you're wanting every bit of data to be pulled on that report. Now, if there's any reason you're putting parameters and you're going to send multiple reports to this person, make sure that you're not excluding something in there. You got to make sure you pick the parameters based for the broadest results. Now, one thing you do want to check is this box right here where it says include, renewed, or excluded policies. On an expiration report, you want everything to pull in, even if it's already renewed in the system, because you want that account manager to have eyes on that. So you would check this box, and then down here, there's really nothing that you want to change. You want it to pull for all parents. And then this is how it's going to sort. I would leave it for the expiration report that's going out every month. I would leave it to sort by the expiration date. There's really no need for a cover page. If you want to put one in, you can, but there really isn't a need for it. And then the description, I would just leave it default as it is. And then you're going to hit save and close. So now this report is ready to generate on March 2nd. Okay, that's when the first one's going to generate. However, I have the ability to generate it now. There's a column right here that says run now. So I'm going to run it now so that I can show you how this is going to work. So I just click on it. In a few minutes, you'll see here it's submitting for processing. So the system's telling you it's generating the report. The report is finished. So now we're going to actually save and close out of here. And then what first I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go to AMS Home. So I'm going to go to my scheduled reports because I'm not only am I acting as the rep in this example, I'm also acting as the one who's distributing it. That normally is not going to be the case in your agency. So the first thing is the person distributing it's going to want to go to my scheduled reports. And in here, they're going to see a report that's sitting here ready to be sent out. So when you click that box, it's going to say approve and send. So when I hit approve and send, another box comes up that looks like this, and it's processing that report, and it's going to blink, so to speak. And once it sends everything, and then it's going, there it goes, and then it's going to disappear. So now what it's done is it's just the system has distributed that report in the way I checked. And so the way I checked was for it to go into my renewal list and also be emailed to me. So before we move on, see this W1 one right here? That's the one I just generated. And it is sitting here waiting for March 2nd. And on March 2nd, it'll move up into the distribute section for it to be distributed. Now, what we can do is we can actually go to right here. So here we have the report in two different formats. One is CSV and one is PDF. So it can be generated out of here, or this is the one I just created, and this is what it did. It populated all those policies into here so that they could be worked on my renewal list tool. So then it's also come into my email. So I'm gonna actually bring that copy of that over so you can see how that came through. So that shows here in the subject line based on how we set it up in the system. It actually has the body of the email that I entered, and then it has a PDF copy of the report, of which I have no policies. I have an easy month this month, and it pulls in a CSV. So each of these reports is, if there was policies, it would be pulling data on each of these columns for you or for your rep. So those are the different areas that it will populate, and all somebody had to do was go into my scheduled reports and distribute them. So whoever is assigned to be the person to distribute all of the reports is the person who's going to go in, set on your set date. So remember we said this one was the 2nd. It's running on the 2nd. You can see I had pre-scheduled something, a hot list that's going to run on the 5th. If you had a customer age accounts receivable, you could run that maybe on the 10th. So on the 2nd, the 5th, and the 10th, whoever is assigned to distribute scheduled reports would come in and click. You could click all or click each individual one and then approve and send them out. And it would send them all in one shot. It's going to send every box you check all at the same time. So those are some examples of how to set it up and the different options of how it can be delivered to you. So in summary, we need to do a better job at utilizing AMS 360 and the benefits it provides. When possible, we need to work to eliminate manual work so that the areas that actually need your attention get it. Oprah Winfrey once said, the essential question is not how busy are you, but what are you busy at? Let's be busy at the things that require our attention instead of the things that can be done automatically. So that's a quick look at scheduled reports. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on our latest videos. If you'd like to learn more about Kite Technology's AMS 360 consulting services or other technology solutions, feel free to reach out to our team at consult@kitetechgroup.com or visit our website to learn more. We'd love to get to know you and your agency and see how we can help. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.